Hello. Hopefully I can get through this sounding kind of normal. Just on the tail end of a cold. So I'm just looking at the questions, and there's a bunch, but realized I might have the time wrong because I am usually in Alberta, but hopefully it's okay. Got the ocean view. Never get tired of that. So, hopefully nobody missed it or anything, but I have to switch rooms. Connection's bad. There's that ocean. Okay. Reposition for service. Okay. So, I'm going to get Seth here and then start with the list of questions. Okay. Hello. First question. Zenia. For Seth. Thank you. I never knew I had it in me to channel and to communicate with someone who's transitioned. It's incredible and incredibly normal. I also would love to ask more insight on this amazing job that's coming my way. Anywhere in particular I should look. It's getting exciting. Okay. Move this. Yes. Anyone can channel. This is true. Continue to look for signs from your transition, crossed over, family and friends, and you can get more and more of that. And it is normal, yes. For the job, you have a job pop out at you, like say you're going for a walk down the streets and you overhear someone talking about a company or a job that they really enjoy. Maybe that's a sign, or in a shop window or in a job posting board or something, someone pops out at you. That can be a good place to direct you and focus on. Is anything that excites you? Because the universe will continue to give you signs to help you lead you to it. So you've just got to listen and pay attention. Okay, so that's all for Xenia. Go to Brenda. Okay. There are more souls on Earth than ever before. If we each can live in many probable realities at one time, with the increased energy, does this assist the energy to increase? Yes, there's more energy flowing, there's more momentum behind things. There's larger groups of people asking for certain things, so it can propel the manifestation. There's no limit, so like you'll never have too many people. But yes, more people, more asking gets things in momentum and going, and can spin off and create more and more realities too. Okay. How can I access the rays of light on others? I think you're referring to their auras. You can buy books on how to read auras, but the easiest way is to look at somebody who's got like a white or beige background behind them, like on a plane. It's really easy to practice on a plane because there's so many people. So you can look at multiple people. But the way you do it, or you can practice on your hand, you don't look at the fingers, you focus on the space in between. You want a white background. And then what you do, go like this. So you've got this white background. It's too dark in here, so you need better lighting, but you look at the spaces in between, and if you look long enough, they'll start to pulse at you. It'll look like it's vibrating almost, lightly. So you look not at the head, you look at just above, that like inch or so. And it'll, once you see it, it pops out. And people have different meanings for different colors, but generally yellow and white especially, they're the highest, the most vibrant, they're in the vortex, and then different colors can be interpreted different ways depending on your interpretation, but white and yellow is always what you want people to see on you. And you can just be drawn to people who are in the vortex and uplifted, and they'll just kind of shine to you. But once you start noticing auras, they'll really pop out, and then they'll get stronger and stronger. It's like a light. Okay, this life thing is serious business most of the time. How can we lighten things up? Watch comedies. Nobody gets out alive, so what's the point of taking it so seriously? We all die anyways. Stop and take a breath and think, life is supposed to be fun. Am I having fun right now? If I'm not, how can I make it fun? What can I change to take a break and make it better? Yeah, life is kind of moved away from how it was into this rat race, trying to make the most that you can and be the most successful and have the biggest house and the most toys. But you create all of that, all physical items are created, so you can kind of think of it as made up make-believe. And then it'll feel a little less rigid. comes Rocky the Slacker.
Sorry.
The inner tunnels around the world. Any idea when we will discover them? Rocky, why don't you take this one?
Can you repeat the question? You can use it in a new sentence.
The inner tunnels around the world. Any idea when we will discover them?
Not in our lifetime. No, I'll let you take that one, Seth. You're
Tomorrow.
You need to prove yourself to these people.
Shut up. The inner tunnels. Because you have this belief that there is hot magma and all these different layers of the earth, people will have a hard time believing that something like that could exist. And so, not in your lifetime, but maybe in Earth's lifetime, they'll be discovered. But it'll be a long time. The law of attraction and the fact that you create reality and all that has to be solid. Like, there can't be any discrepancy on it. That has to be the accepted knowledge of the world before something like that will be able to exist and be used. If the Bible is a summary of parables, are we living the Christ dramas ourselves and answering each one in our lives? The Bible is a book that someone created, so it doesn't dictate your life. Romeo missed you. Let's make sure we have Rocky lounging over there in the dark.
I know. I was up very early this morning. Just excited for this Seth.
That you forgot about yesterday.
Can't log on to Facebook. Get onto it.
Okay, sorry, back to the question. It's a book written, so it's not like Harry Potter, although it's a widespread, greatly loved book. It doesn't mean it's dictating people's lives. Lots of things in the Bible did happen. Others were just kind of examples, but you came here with some parameters that you wanted and some things you wanted to focus on and happen, and that's kind of what your life is guided towards with the help of source and non-physical, but not the Bible. Okay. And last, Romeo.
Well, you're out of questions.
No, Romeo's next.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay. Number 1. Did dragons ever exist on Earth in this dimension? And if so, when did they exist? Did they really breathe fire? Not on Earth. People have seen them, which is how they've come about. But it's from a crossover of different planes. So same with unicorns. They haven't existed here. But there's been lots and lots of sightings, especially in Ireland and Scotland. That's why it's their national animal. Even though it's a myth, but most really large, strange creatures existed on other planes that were just spotted. But in the dinosaur age, there were similar things to dragons, but not dragons. Just like flying dinosaurs, pretty much. But they didn't breathe fire. Okay, 2. And yes, did they really breathe fire? The that were crossing from the plains, yes, they do. But the dinosaurs that were similar to dragons on Earth did not. 2. Who designed the planet and the plants? Who decided what fruits look like? All of this stuff didn't just make itself, did it? So bizarre the way things are. It's funny, and we were talking about this last night when we were watching Angry Birds, and it's funny how people get to create these worlds in these cartoons. So if you think of it that way, a designer, like a set designer, they're kind of like, I guess, higher up souls who are more experienced, who as a team work together to design different landscapes and things and fruits, and you know, they use their imagination to create all sorts of things, and over quite a long time they designed all of it, and then it came to be. But then you'll find that new animals and new fruits and things are discovered, and that is because the people are inspired and are wanting to create, and so through their subconscious they do create these things, and then they discover them. 3. What purpose does cannabis serve originally? Was it even meant to be smoked by humans? Smoking's not really a natural thing. Nothing was really ever meant to be smoked, but like with hemp, it was used more for like weaving, for like clothes, and more of that way. It wasn't really meant to be ingested, although you can. It was more meant for using the leaves to, like, you know, make hemp, that kind of stuff. And like, same with tobacco, it was never meant to be smoked, but it went that way. 4. Why do you often tell us to ask the universe for things that we want rather than telling us to tell the universe what we want? And would it be beneficial for us to use "it would be nice if" statements? Telling is more of a demand. When you're asking, it's not about being polite, but asking is deciding that there's something you want, and so you're putting it out there. But if you're telling the universe, it's almost like saying you already have it, but you don't, so it kind of pushes against it. So if you go, I'd really like a new truck, it's lighter than universe, give me a truck. Like, it's a different tone behind it. So it's ask, believe, receive for a reason. So ask. And yes, it's definitely beneficial to use "it would be nice if" statements, especially when you're in an uncomfortable situation. It would be nice if things lightened up. It would be nice if the atmosphere changed, if the air was lighter. And then you can switch it. 5. Why do I have to ask the universe for anything if the universe can hear my thoughts? Didn't you say that our thoughts are like high frequency language that the universe can hear? Yes, you don't have to physically ask out loud. But you do have to ask. You have to write it down, or think it, or say it.
The contrast is asking too, right? You know, when you get contrast, that's you
Deciding.
You automatically. Okay, I'm done talking. I'll let non-physical.
Let's focus on you for a while.
Guides like to step in and just correct your incorrect answers. Okay, Seth. No, your answers are very good. I just my guides will pop in and maybe give a little bit more here and there. I think that's why the people prefer me over you.
Just keep the camera on you then.
Bad man.
Idiot.
Sorry.
Yes, when you have contrast, you decide you don't want it, so you start thinking about what you want automatically. Number 6. If animals are souls too, then why do they eat other animals and attack humans for what seems to be no reason sometimes? What's with all of the animosity, pun intended? They come for different experiences. So lots of animals come for the experience of being hunted or to hunt. So like people who are wolves, they want that experience of hunting and being strong and athletic and feared. All souls are equal. So your dog is, you know, in the next life maybe your brother. And so it's all even. And when you use terms like attack, that's a human word. You both come for the experience, you're both getting something out of it, whether you were so fearful of it you manifested it, or you're vibrating so low that you have it happen. But everybody gets something out of every experience. And people gotta eat, animals gotta eat. Not everybody can live off grass, so it's just the food chain. It's just like you sign up for the experience and you go with it.
And there is no death.
Yes, so when you're dying, you're just going on pause till you come for the next one. 7. Seth, if you were physically focused at this time, would you choose to be a vegan? And if so, why? Would you encourage humans to go vegan? No. You're here to enjoy things and to experience things, and half of that is, when you become a vegan, you cut out like 80% of food. So, you know, hunters would cease to be, animal farmers, dairy farmers, like you cut out so many jobs. You would be overridden with animal populations. You would run out of plants really fast. Like it would. There's reasons why different people have different diets, because if everyone were vegan, you'd get a lot of issues come up that you'd have to figure out. But there's nothing bad about eating animals, because they came for the experience of being that animal and perhaps, you know, being slaughtered for the next shipment of cow beef, but it's not like an evil thing to eat animals.
Just what was that question again? Oh, like what was...
If I was physically focused, would I be a vegan, and why?
Well, you, because of the physical man that's already focused in his physical, non-physical can see through as well, though, right? Like non-physical experiences. So really, like non-physical is focused in the physical because we are. Is that not true?
What does that have to do with being a vegan?
No. Just if you were focused in the physical. I just caught that part of the question. Like you are focused in the physical because of man that is on this physical plane right now.
Yes,
No,
but
because I've heard that question come up before. Like if you were focused, if non-physical is focused in the physical, which
he
you
just
are.
means if I had a current life and body, would I choose my diet to be vegan?
Yeah, but I'm just making the distinction that because physical man is non-physical is focused. Is that true?
Just show off.
That's just what Abraham told me. I remember.
What's he done for you lately?
You said it's a he. Sorry.
8. How can there even be a leading edge if time doesn't exist? The leading edge sounds like a linear thing to me. Does all time collapse into now? Time is such a bizarre thing. Time is very difficult to explain. Leading edge, yes, does make it sound like a point you're trying to reach. But instead, just think of it as your whole group of people, and you're just the ones on the edge of it. You're just on the outside because you're beyond. You're with it. You get it. So you're not part of the mass. You're just a bit outside of it.
I know you've tiptoed around the time question many a times. It's popped up on many of the sessions. Can you, what's the word I'm looking for? Give it a shot at explaining it to us.
I have told you many times.
Average physical beings.
You just don't get it.
No, but can you just explain it again, just for the camera? Just so that, maybe Romeo, maybe he'll get it.
Ridiculous.
Without movies though, as well. In Seth terms.
No, we will use movies. I would encourage you to watch Cloud Atlas to understand more about multiple lives, because it has like 6 or so characters who have several different lives in several different times, but they're all occurring at the same time. If you think of a TV remote, you can play, pause, rewind, fast forward, all within like a minute. You can go through all that time in the movie. So, if there's any period of time you want to go to, you can go to it whenever. Because it's not like where it happens and then it's the past. It's just a point in existence. So if you think of like a place, you can always go back to a place. So if you think of a time period like 1921, you can always go back to a period. And you'll find when you're having fun, time seems to fly, and when you're really bored, it slows down. And it is true. Like 1 minute can be, it'll show as 1 minute on the clock, but it can be stretched out or shortened depending on your emotion, which everyone experiences, and it is a thing. So in that sense, you know that time is not as it seems. And it's not like when you come back to the current year. We're gonna make Rocky do the next session by himself, since his guides are so smart.
Sorry.
But when you come back for another experience, you pick whatever time you want to live in. So it's not like everything is set in stone. And
well, how can you sort of look at it without? Everybody nowadays is pretty much brought up with a 24-hour day, 7-day week, and
if only season, it is right there. Kind of small though. Continue. Your darkened little cave.
No, I'm just saying that most people are brought up in this world now. No, I'm not saying all, but most. Most Western societies are brought up with time. Like a 24-hour day, 7-day week, and 12-month year. So how could you kind of look at it? Well, I know you mentioned the TV sort of thing, but I can't remember. I remember hearing it explained before I read it somewhere, and it was an interesting way of looking at it. I honestly don't remember how it went, but it was sort of taking that out of the equation, and you might have explained it in Seth Speaks, but I can't quite remember. It was, like, I know you talked about the cavemen, and they slept when they were tired, and they hunted when they needed to, and they
Yeah.
would stay up around the clock pretty much. You know, they wouldn't just sleep throughout the night like Westerners do nowadays, and for long periods of time they'd sleep for a couple hours, and then I still can't really quite wrap my head around it, but I mean I suppose that being able to jump in anywhere on a movie, or like you said with that kind of makes a little bit more sense, but yeah, I think we'll have to.
Time is a human thing that's been made up for, the modern world. But what is time? It's just a math equation of how many times the Earth orbits the sun, divided into days and months and weeks and hours and minutes and seconds. It's just a math equation. So it's just another rotation of the sun each day. But like on different planets, time, like in Inception, you go to the different levels and time becomes longer and like worth more. So if you spend a year in one level, it's really 10. So it's different on different planets, different existences, but it's harder when you go back to non-physical to understand it, because you just kind of go about and then you check in on Earth and so much time has passed, or more or less has. It's very confusing. But there's this idea that you're always short for time, you're gonna run out of time. But then you'll find, like, sometimes say you sleep in and you got 10 minutes to get to work, and it usually takes you 15 minutes to get there. You get there 2 minutes early. It's because time isn't real. It's just your perception.
Just on that same time note, so on that same subject, I remember you explained, you said of a date ahead of here that that physical man exists on this earth, and you said like 500,000 or 490,000.
You have to speak up.
You said 490,000. You mentioned like pretty close to 500,000 years ahead of the current date, 2017, and with that also, could you give us a time period, sort of like on physical Earth times, like in the past?
Before Christ?
Yeah, like not necessarily, but like sort of like, is it the same before, or millions, zillions of years, or like how long has this been going on?
900 billion?
Cool. And is it infinite? Oh, I don't know what. Like it just keeps.
It'll keep going until there's no purpose for Earth.
Okay.
Or the general consensus is to create a new Earth.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Thank you.
9. If my cells know what they were before they were damaged, then why do we get scars? Can we heal our scars? Why are my cells so lazy? Why don't they just finish the job they started? That's a modern thing. They used to just heal. Now people think that when you get injured, things are lesser. But you can use a boost. You can use like vitamin E oil or coconut oil or bio oil or whatever to speed up the process. But yes, you can ask your cells. Don't call them lazy, or they won't want to help. But you can ask them to fully heal themselves. 10. I was watching the previews for this new movie called Split. It's about split personalities. It looks really good, actually. Anyway, it raised the question, why do humans develop split personalities, and is it possible for a personality to change one's physical appearance the moment they switch? They will seem to be different. It'll still be the same body, but they might change how they act. So maybe their eyebrows come down lower, or their mouth sits a certain way so they appear almost different. But it'll be the same body. Split personality is usually when something has gone wrong and you're between two different planes, or you're kind of still stuck in non-physical, and so it's confusing. It's same with when people do drugs and they can overdose. They can astral project and go places, but part of them stays and it doesn't come back. It gets lost because they're under the influence of drugs, so it's confusing. But yeah, split personalities, you're usually stuck between, it's still just one soul, but it's just being split and torn apart, and then these different personalities come through. 11. Do people always achieve their 10 experience? No. What happens when someone comes for a specific experience, but they're not able to achieve it? Does that ever happen? Yes, it does. Oops. You just relive it. So you might relive a different life, different people, at a different place. Maybe your gender changes, whatever. But you'll have another experience where it's set up so that it is possible to work on that trait, or to have that job, or whatever it is you were doing. And it's not uncommon. It does happen quite a bit. Or let's say you came to work on how shy you were and to put yourself out there more, and you kind of did it, but it wasn't enough. Then you'll have another life working on it some more. 12. We can have or do whatever we want. Correct. Yes. So what happens if two equally powerful and focused creators want the same thing, but there's only one of that thing? Who would get that thing? Well, there's no limit, but let's say, for example, President of the United States. They would both get it. They would just get it in different realities. So, in the reality you are all currently in, you have Trump as this president. But in another reality, you all have Hillary Clinton as the president. So they're both focused. They're both good law of attraction users. Except Trump won in this reality and Hillary won in the other. So they just live in different realities. Or sometimes, if someone wants to win the lottery, well, you get two winners. Well, it's because neither one was stronger than the other. Oh, 13. Do non-physical beings live vicariously through those who are physically focused? Yes. And if so, how often do they? Oh, pretty much every day. Like, one person non-physical might not come and experience something physical every day, but on Earth, there are other souls watching in or hanging around to. It's kind of like when you watch a movie, you get invested and it's fun to watch and live in that little world. So for non-physical, they just get to watch, but sometimes at a closer level. They don't like overtake your body or anything unless you're invited them into your channeling, but they'll just hang around and watch. Especially for ones where it's like your wedding day and like your grandma or dad or whoever has transitioned, they'll come and they'll sit in the audience and watch, so that they're not seen, but they're still a part of it. 14. How did the juveniles who were transported to Earth brush their teeth? Or did they just have to deal with bad breath? Was bad breath even a thing back then? Bad breath, not so much. Like, it is a thing that's developed. But teeth were always seen as like, there was always hygiene to a sense. Like, people would wash. They'd splash water to get dirt off or blood or whatever. And they would scrub at their hair. For teeth, like if you watch the show Survivor, they use sticks and they scrape them. That's what they did. So they just, like, obviously didn't have toothpaste, but they just use a bit of water and a stick and just scrape at your teeth. And like, I mean, they obviously didn't have the perfect teeth, and sometimes they'd rot out, but they did scrape them to clean them. Okay, that is it. Rocky's on the spot for the next 18 minutes.
What do you
Your turn.
Oh, for questions?
Yeah.
Why is Randy not feeling so well?
Because you stressed her out.
Perfect. No, but a real answer.
That is a real answer.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
I would never.
Ooh, 63 likes on our last post. Because of stress. Not directly related to you, but just because of stress. And of wanting things and not having them arrive yet.
Okay. What would you recommend?
Well, it's mostly past now. So the tea and the rest and the comedies and going out. You know, not sitting around in pajamas.
Okay.
Well, she has, but, you know, act the part. So you act healthy, you go out and do stuff.
Yeah. Oh, very good.
Next.
When will Romeo get to meet us?
You can meet tomorrow if you really want it.
Oh, cool.
Well, after the book comes out, which, by the way, we have found a publisher for our books, we will be doing paper, print, audio and ebooks. So once those start selling, and after we finish building the log house, probably this late fall, winter, to escape the winter, we will be doing seminars outside of Alberta. Before then, we'll be doing them in Alberta, but then we can expand and get that RV and start driving around to where?
Perfect. I like it. Okay.
Next.
Should Randy come fishing tomorrow?
No,
Okay.
she won't have as much fun as you.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I don't really.
You have 14 minutes.
I don't know. Yeah, I really don't have any questions right now. I don't know, I really enjoy listening to Romeo's, and the questions that have been coming in have been really good. I don't know. I guess just with the book, are we gonna obviously do a little bit of an intro and stuff, and we still got a little bit of work to do there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to end early, or? What else? No more questions? I'll let you
Oh, hold
handle.
on, there's a question. Oops, hold on. If a channeler is a bit under the weather, does it affect the channeling process? Do you help Randy heal when she's channeling? It could. But Rocky asked a similar question before, where Randy wasn't feeling well, and it was, well, why don't you just heal her while you're in there? And it does speed up the cells to have non-physical influence. I can't change her voice to be clear because she's manifested it to be scratchy. So once that leaves, it'll just fix itself. But
do you guys want a couple oysters before they're put away?
No, I think we're good, Jerry.
But yes, it is beneficial to channel even if you're sick, unless you're really, really sick and just need rest. Rest is always the best. Your turn.
Why didn't you want any oysters?
You took us to Cactus Club. If you ever go to Cactus Club, the only thing you ever need to order is a butternut squash prawn ravioli. Amazing.
What's your opinion?
He always steals it.
Alright. Yeah, I honestly don't have any questions. I am just hoping that Romeo pulls through and my questions for me.
Any questions about the logs?
About what?
The logs,
For the house?
yes.
What kind of questions?
If you're building a house, you have to show appreciation for the material for it to be the best. You can't build a solid, wonderful house if you're cursing the wood you're using or the tools. So think about how awesome the material it is and how awesome it is you found it and maybe got a good deal on it and how it's gonna look really good and work out really well. Next.
I've just got all the answers. Like whenever I want answers, I just ask my guides, and they give me very
I used
thorough
to ask questions all the time.
answers.
Well, I guess you can write the daily email then.
I could if you really want me to, but then I would have to change it to my guides. No, I wouldn't want to take that away from you, Seth. That's all you got right now.
Is it? I'm going to boys club.
No, I don't have any questions today. I'm just in the vortex, just clinging to the walls of the vortex, trying to claw my way in.
That sounds more accurate. Well, let's just say, no matter how much water you're drinking, it's probably not enough. You should drink lots and lots and lots and have it cycle through you. Be going to the bathroom lots. Because just like air, all of your cells need water. And there's so many cells in your body. And just having like 3 or 4 cups a day and then coffee and tea, it's not enough. You need like 10, 15, 20 cups. Lots and lots and lots and lots. Especially if you're sick or working out or in heat. It's just, with every meal, every piece of food, if you're having like a juice or coffee, have a glass of water first or after or with it.
Okay.
And he's back to down. Just so that it's on the record. This is what I have to deal with.
I like to be
I'm
comfortable.
surprised he's not using it, to be honest.
Thank you, Seth. Roger's got another question for you.
How does reincarnation work? Are we all? It's the same. It's just you coming from non-physical back to Earth. Or wherever you go. But once you're non-physical and you choose to... Okay, are we all the same soul? Yes. I mean, all of you are an extension of Source. So... you're all connected, but your individual soul is the same one you have through every experience, but it develops and grows and learns, obviously. So for reincarnation, it's just you taking on a new body each time, and you go from non-physical, you set up what you want in the physical experience, and then there's kind of like this ritual where you go to this place and you lay down and people kind of chant around you, and then you're transported into the pregnant body where you grow and develop, but you can travel while you're in there. And then you come through and you're born and you have your physical experience. So
Can you just explain what you mean by what you can travel when you're in there?
well, like your soul can, if you're like, the size of a cherry or whatever, that physical.
You're not actually in the fetus, or you're still in non-physical, doing your own thing type deal.
No, you're in the fetus.
Yeah.
So you're still in that little physical body, but you can, it's like astral projection. You can travel around and do things. And then once it's like a bigger baby, you usually stay there at that point to connect more with it. But you'll find some mothers say, oh, they kick all the time, and then boom, it's gone. It's weird. I feel like they're not there anymore. Well, they've just gone off to venture out for a bit and then they come back.
Okay. Romeo's got another one for you.
No, same thing. Are we all the same soul?
Oh, okay, sorry.
He doesn't speak other English.
Okay, well, it's a good session. Thank you for your time.
3 minutes, 20 minutes, think about it.
Maybe you'd like to add some parting notes or something?
It's ridiculous. He's always trying to find a way to get out of it.
Well, you just take the physical way too serious, Seth. You gotta learn to relax a little bit and enjoy it, while we give you this opportunity to talk.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust you at all, Seth. You're not a very trustworthy soul.
Oh, too bad you turned the video off.
What? What are you doing? Oh, God. Poor Romeo's got to watch this.
He needs to know what you're truly like.
Oh, I apologize for Seth, Romeo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I think
He laughed.
I think you burned up your
He
time.
agrees. Burned up your time. You're trying to burn up. No, you still have 2 minutes. Ask a damn question.
Okay. What would be a good thing to focus on for a physical man? Like, I know you mentioned, enjoying the moment and creating a whole bunch of happy moments to create a.
I feel like this is fitting. Keep going. The
I
question.
see that. You made me lose my spot.
Something good to focus on.
I honestly can't remember where I was going with it.
He was just rambling, trying to waste the last 2 minutes.
I would never. Oh, we're out of time. Does Romy, I have one last question I thought I saw.
So where is no night or day in non-physical? So there is no night or day in non-physical. Only if you want it. Usually it's just daytime, and then people rest or meditate. But if you enjoy the night, you can have night. But it's not like here where it's day, night, day, night, day, night. It's just what you choose.
So how long does it take your planet to get around the sun?
A nanosecond.
Yeah.
For something to focus on, you can think there's no pressure, because even if I don't achieve it this time, I can come back and do it over.
Okay.
And it takes the pressure off of having to achieve everything.
Yeah.
And you can, if you're doing something and you stop and think about how you don't like it, just think, is this fun? If the answer is not yes, change it.
Okay.
Unless you're at work, you might have to work around it to make it more fun. But do things that are enjoyable, because you work to live, you don't live to work.
Okay. So that's your parting notes, is you live to work, you work to live.
You do not live to work.
Huh.
Make
Very
him
good.
do some Scrabble later to practice his words.
Okay.
Okay, until next week. I'll see you.
Yeah.